City Jazz Sessions is about great music, arts, and entertainment. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and available to performance art lovers worldwide. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. You can email us at cityjazzsessions@gmail.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Magic Man 50 Warren Harper with another interview with City Jazz Sessions. This evening we have Mr. Robert Nelson
Yay!
for season 3, episode 1. So we're kicking off the season with a big start. How you doing, Robert?
Man, I'm fantastic now that I'm here with you guys.
Okay, so we know that you've been very busy. Just let's go back to the start though, and tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you've been up to. Hi.
Well, I'm Robert Nelson, and I'm an artist, and I'm from St. Louis. I was born and raised right here in the North St. Louis. Actually, we were raised close to Washington and Compton, and we moved to North St. Louis around '72. I grew up in a home of 8 siblings, so it was a lot of music. There was a lot of action going on in our house. I
Okay.
had a brother who was a natural comedian, and he would put on um, variety shows for my mother and for my father. And he would take like my grandmother's quilts, and he would create like curtains, kind of like the Little Rascals, maybe, and he would organize a variety show, and he would have me and my sister to open up the show, and we would probably do a sing and do a dance reenactment to like Grandma's Hands by Bill Withers, and then I had another sister who would come out and maybe dance, and then there was a skit, and then my brother would do a comedy routine, and then at the end we would do a big great finale. We did a big number, and so that's what I grew up around as a kid, and that was all play. That was
Yeah.
all play, but I didn't know that it was preparing me for stage, and I didn't really realize that it was just hanging out playing, and we did this all the time. And then I grew up in church at a very young age. I was tapped by um, a very renowned musician at the time by the name of Lee Cochran. And he was very popular, very well trained, very, very popular musician in St. Louis around 72,
Mhm.
74, around that era. Very popular. And he tapped me to be the lead singer of choir for a gospel radio broadcast. And so that's when I kind of started doing things on a different level. Uh, Being young wasn't really so much thinking of it like that. Those were things you had to do because you were raised in a Baptist family, and you went to church, and you just didn't sit on the pew. You had to work. You had to be an usher. You had to sing.
Oh,
You
yeah.
had to do bakes. You had to wash cars. You had to be very active in your church. And so that's how I grew up. I grew up around that. When it was time to go to college, um, I went to Alabama A&M University, historically black university, on a music scholarship.
Hmm.
And so there, I was trained under the direction of Dr. Bradford and Dr. Richard Tucker. And so it was a new kind of thing. It was kind of like a Fisk University music type experience, what people would imagine. And so there was a lot of training. And it was very tough, and it was very hard, and it was all about discipline. And it was not easy. And I was not great. There were cats, from Birmingham and cats from Detroit and cats like that I went to college with, and those guys were some real singers, young black brothers who could sing like Pavarotti. I mean, they had the voices, and they could sing opera, they could sing gospel, they could sing Negro spirituals, and I was I was a kid. I was the kid who was just learning. They would take me, those brothers, those students would take me into the music building. And they would teach me about breathing. They would help me with my tone. And so I was at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of my peers and my peers at school. And so I think it's kind of, I think it's ironic that I was at the bottom of the barrel, and
Hmm.
to go on to be professionally performing, and that says a lot about them. It says a lot about them, how great they were, and they taught me just to be able to make my audition so that I could tour. This was a touring universe. Our university choir was a touring choir, so we went on tour, and if you couldn't make, and you had to audition to
Hmm.
go on tour. So if you got a scholarship in August, and when spring rolls around and you audition around February to go on tour in the spring around the country, different cities throughout the country, if you didn't make your audition,
Hmm.
when fall came, you didn't have a scholarship because they weren't going to give you scholarship money if you couldn't go on tour. It was all about going on tour. You had
Oh.
to be able to go out and represent that college, that university in these different cities with your voice, with your music. And if you couldn't do that, then no one, they weren't gonna, you lose your scholarship. So there was a lot of pressure to be good. There was a lot of pressure to learn the music. There was a lot, and no one was playing with you. People cared a lot about you, and
Hmm.
they put in the work, they put in the hours, and they would be patient with you. But you had to sink or you were going to swim, and there was no excuses. So this was not a play game. And so I think with that, that helped me to learn a work ethic when it comes to music. I mean, when I'm preparing for performances, I mean, we're up sometimes at 12, still just working on notes, working on transitions,
Hmm.
and sometimes with all of that hard work, and sometimes you still don't get it right. Sometimes you look at each other after performance, you go like, ah, I needed to hear that chord. The audience is clapping, they're standing up on their feet, they're giving you, they're all happy and wonderful, and they're going on. And the musicians, after they leave, we're standing there and we're packing up. We're going like, man, I didn't hear that chord, and I know I didn't come in on that eighth, and so, so there's a lot of pressure that's embedded into the musicians who are really pushing and who are really committed to the craft to that degree.
Yeah, I think the artists seem to be a lot more harder on themselves than the actual
We were
listener.
trained to be.
Yeah.
We were trained to be because the science of the music is exact. And so if this is what's on the chart, if that's supposed to be a B flat, you know what I mean? The science of it, it tells you that it's not right. So you
Right.
have to kind of be hard because it's supposed to be right. And your goal is to get it as close to right as consistently as possible,
Hmm. Yeah.
and so there you have it.
Yeah, but as a listener, I think listeners are more in tune to their feelings and response as opposed to the preciseness and the
Mhm.
accuracy of everything that's going down. It's like, how does that make you feel and the movement. So
Yeah.
you get a little grace. You get
Well,
some.
I see that. That's interesting. If I could, yeah, I can share this. I mean, we're just talking. I just had the privilege of putting together, and um, we put together a tribute to Lionel Richie and the Commodores.
Hmm.
And National Blues Museum called me and asked me, they reached out to me and asked me, "Hey, Robert, we want you to be on this series that we're doing. We want you to think of an artist that you believe is worthy of a tribute." I had never done a tribute performance before. This was
Hmm.
actually my first. I've done in our shows. I'll do a medley tribute. So I might do like 3 or 4 songs, and I would do a medley of one artist just to kind of add to the show. But I've never done a full tribute show, and so it was a real easy decision for me. She said, let us know, think about it. I said, I don't need to let you know. I said, I can tell you right now. I said, it's Lionel Richie and the Commodores. I said, because with Lionel Richie and the Commodores, I'll have beautiful ballads. I'll have a couple of duets.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have some funk and
Funk.
some disco from Commodores,
Yeah.
but I'll have some beautiful lush ballads and some beautiful pop and family friendly compositions from Lionel Richie. I'll have a couple of country tunes that I can do and will do. I'll have some super soul, smooth, feel good love songs like Sweet Love from the Commodores in '75. And so I titled the performance Love Will Find a Way, which was from Lionel Richie's um, Grammy Award Album of the Year, Can't Slow Down. Uh, Adult contemporary tune with horns, beautiful tune. Love will find a way, because I believe that with all those songs in there, I think the whole picture, the whole idea was that love will find a way. We did the number one smash, Endless Love. I duetted with a young lady by the name of Tamika Dawn. We opened up with Lionel's 84, Running with the Night, 83, Running with the Night, with its blaring guitars and fun and sexy. We did Truly, which was another number one ballad. We did Just to Be Close to You.
Yeah.
Listen, it was 24 songs in medley form for two sets, three Grammy Award winning songs, one Oscar Award winning song, and a couple of basement jams, you know, and an urban culture cult classics like Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
and Brick House.
Oh
And
yeah.
then we also brought in 1983's Kenny Rogers Lady that
Yeah.
he wrote for Kenny Rogers. We got to do that. We also featured a young lady, 1987's Missing You by Diana Ross. Lionel Richie wrote that for Diana Ross when Marvin passed away. So I had and then I did the Academy Award winning song, Say You, Say Me,
Yeah.
and We Are the World, which Lionel Rich, I mean, like this show, it just elevated and elevated. It still had fun there with All Night Long
Yeah. Yeah.
and the Commodore's Night Shift.
Now,
I mean, so it was just jam packed
yeah.
with classic after classic after classic, from beautiful ballad to funky tunes to dance to pop and unity, songs of love,
Now
and
you
we
talked about the church coming up
huh?
in the church, right? Did
I
you
didn't
do?
hear you.
You talked about coming up in the church. Did you do Jesus is love?
That's how we ended the performance.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah, that's the only way to end it.
I was
You
just
end it
curious.
with Jesus is love, and we got to stand in ovation. I don't say that to brag.
Mm-hmm.
But I do say that to say this, to go back to your point. You said that the listener wants to know, they want to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they felt it. Now we were thinking, oh man, I messed up on that song and I didn't come in. We could go, but they felt it. And I had to remind them that I was like, dude, we're not going to, we made a couple of mistakes tonight. Those people were on their feet.
Mm.
They felt that. So we gave our all, and even within that, we made, and that audience is probably not even privy to many of the mistakes we made, of course. But we wanted to do an incredible show for them. We did our best, and the audience says that we gave them an incredible tribute. And so I'm very honored. Lionel Richie was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year. I'm very proud of him. I'm proud to see this black man at 71 or 72 years old. He's on his way to go on tour right now with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh
I will
wow.
be, yes, he's been wanting to do this for years, and he made it. He made it happen. And so Lionel Richie is taking Earth, Wind, and Fire on tour with him, and it's going to be incredible. So,
How,
Rock and
how
Roll
many of
Hall of
those?
Famer, still doing his thing in his 70s, and getting ready to hit a major tour that's going to cause me to get up and go travel to Chicago because it's not coming to St. Louis, but it will be in Chicago and I will be there
I was going to
celebrating the
ask you.
music.
How
So the
many of
night
Earth,
is
Wind, and Fire is still
Ooh,
left?
I didn't hear you, Leon.
How many of Earth, Wind, and Fire is still left?
Well, I know that I know, of course, obviously Maurice is not there, and I think we lost someone else just a few months ago. If that's is that correct?
yeah, I can't remember which one, but I know more than one are gone. Yeah.
So you've got Verdine and you've got the other brothers, if I'm not mistaken, and they know this music. They've been indoctrinated. This music is in their blood. They're going to do what they need to do, and they're going to put somebody in there with them, and they're going to bring that music and they're going to bring that show. And the people are going to be there. And one of the things that I said in this show, in the Lionel Richie tribute, Love Will Find a Way, I told the people that the show was not about me. The show was not about me. The show was about the music. And so every time I felt like I would get a little bit nervous, I thought, dude, the music is going to speak for itself.
Mhm.
This is well written music. This is music that is as comparable to a Burt Bacharach tune. Lionel's Richie music stands up to Burt Bacharach melodies from the late 50s, early 60s. Um, Lionel Richie's lyrics, they stand up to the lyrics of a Smokey Robinson. Lyrics that will stand the test of time and that'll never get old, will never become a fad. Your children and our grandchildren and their children will be listening to Truly and Hello. They'll hear all night long and they'll think, wow, you know, they'll hear Sail On by the Commodores and think like,
Yeah.
what kind of gods were these? And so the music will of Earth, Wind, and Fire will do the same thing. And so although we don't have Maurice, that music is alive and it's already written. It's already in our souls. We don't need to hear too much of it anyway. We're gonna be singing and just grooving. It's in
Right.
our muscle memory.
Oh man. So tell me about the band.
What do you want to know about those
No,
guys?
who did you have?
Okay. So on this particular performance on drums, I have a young brother by the name of Kevin Williams. Now he is the drummer for Dirty Mugs. And so
Okay.
he's a power drummer. He's got a lot of energy. I was I had to have a conversation with him because his superpower is his power. When we do those big outdoor festivals like when we did the Taste of Maplewood, I had to have him because when he beats a drum, it filled that whole community. They
Mhm.
could hear it miles away, right? Because he's got that kind of power. But this show was really kind of a combination of adult contemporary, almost old Hollywood. You know, I did some talking up front, and the songs were, they were arranged. And I asked him, was he, and he says, dude, that's no problem for me. It required a lot more restraint from him. On guitar was the legendary Andre Williams. Now, this was really up his alley. He can play distortion. So we opened up with Running with the Night because I just wanted him to blare and I wanted to hit the audience kind of hard. It's one of Lionel's edgier songs from the 80s. And it's one of my favorites. There was a video for it, so it was a big hit. So he can blare through with that guitar. But then when you're doing Hello and Three Times a Lady, he really needed to have that subtle piece with his guitar.
Mhm.
And Andre, he's got that. He has that kind of range. On bass was a young brother by the name of Kevin Blakely, and he's got a real slick and very sophisticated bass, which I thought was perfect for the show. On horns, I had Terry G and Lou Weiner Jr. Lou is plays a beautiful, sweet, sexy sax, and he's been with me for the last few shows. He was on my Love's Holiday show, Valentine's Day, just sweet and very romantic. Well, Terry G's got some punch. Terry G, he plays with a lot of bite. So I wanted them both because I wanted the sweet and I wanted that grit. And together they did those horns and for the Commodore numbers, and then each of them took turns, kind of with some of the songs that were Lionel's that didn't require both horns.
Right.
So they took good care of me. On keys, our musical director was Norman Andre Williams III. He and I, we sat, we did all of the arrangements, and we spent a lot of time just cultivating the show and making sure the show had the level of flow that we wanted. And we spent, and then I had a young lady come in from Florida, from Tampa, and her name is Tamika Dawn, and she provided supporting vocals for me. She performed Diana Ross's "Missing You," and she also duetted with me on "Endless Love."
Okay. Okay. Do you have anything, Leon?
Nah. Mm-mm.
So, when did you go to New York?
This was before 9/11. I I left. I didn't- when I left Alabama, I got my degree and I started working, and I couldn't let go of this whole thing of music. It just wouldn't leave me. I tried, I tried and tried and tried, but it just would not. It wouldn't let me go, and so I just said, you know what? I'm moving to New York, and so
Well, that's
so I
what you
moved
went
to New
to school
York,
for, right?
and I started working at a record company.
Okay.
Um, and so I worked at a record company by day, and then I worked on music by night.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I had to get out. I had to go for it. The interesting thing was when I got there, I loved the city. I loved the energy. I was totally inspired.
Hmm.
Still didn't know who I was, but I was out there doing it. You know what I mean? I was learning a lot, and and then I got a call from my mother, and her exact words were, "Robert, I don't know what's going on in New York, but I
Mm.
need for you to come home. I'm sick."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those were the exact words. And so I packed up everything. I just took a deep breath and I just packed up everything. I was just like, I'm out.
Hmm.
And so when I say packed up, I like to tell people that I had packed up my little hopes and my dreams, because I knew that the life that I was living and the opportunities that I was looking at and the kind of work that I was doing, I knew that those opportunities weren't here in St. Louis. So I thought, dude, like, when you go back to St. Louis, it's like with four jobs, four things you can choose to. Where in New York, oh my God, it didn't take me long to even get at the record company. And then I ended up leaving there and going to another record company. You know what I mean? I mean, it was moving. And there were opportunities there and positions and titles that I had never heard of, that I didn't even know they exist. I'm thinking like they pay people to do that.
Wow.
you know? So yeah, so I moved back, and when I came back, I thought, dude, it ain't gonna happen. So I tried to think about it anymore. I had made up my mind, like, dude. And then when the kids came, and not only when the kids came, when the kids came, and I was a single parent. Oh, dude, I knew there was no going to New York.
Mm.
Dude, please. So it's like you're gonna sit around here and do like everybody else. You're gonna work, and you can go ahead and eat as much as you want, get fat, and go sit in the backyard and eat you some barbecue and drink a beer and listen to some music on the radio and just enjoy it and just think about what you used to dream about doing.
Right.
But
Wow.
that was off the table. But when those kids got of a certain age, it was still there. It hadn't left me. And people were like, Robert, we can, you really should get back, to the music. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have it anymore. I'm like, my mom had passed, my brother had died, and the
Mm.
kids came and the divorce. I was just like, look, I'll sit on the back porch with the barbecue and the dog and the beer and just listen to some Anita Baker and some Phyllis Hyman. Y'all just leave me alone. I'm cool, you know. And so they just kept pushing, and I wasn't even sure if I thought that with all the stuff I had been through, I thought I had developed stage fright. I
Mm,
just didn't even think I could get back to it.
mhm.
And I think that's the beauty, and I think that's one of the motivations for me to continue to go, because at my age, I just turned 56 in November.
Okay.
And I think about, and I look at the people who come to the performances, and I talk to the, talk to the people after the performances and shows, and I just realize how much we have in common. We're all about the same age, and we all got some children, and we always got, we all got a one child that's giving us a lot of problems, and
Oh yeah.
many of us may be divorcees, and uh, and I just realized that we have so much in common that it's important for me to keep pushing, because we have to inspire each other. And so I feel great putting together a show for the um, the demographic audience that I know that's going to be there. I already know what the age range is. And I know some of their stories, and they
Mm,
reach out and say, "Hey, Robert, I'm bringing my girlfriend. She's in town, or I just got engaged to this new guy, and I'm going to bring him, to check out the performance." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll see you guys there." And they're like, "Yeah, we want you to check him out, make sure he's okay." And so we meet afterwards. And so what I'm saying is, it's kind of like it's just kind of like a support. It's like a group of friends to some
mm,
degree, who are mature in our age and our thinking, and how we're trying to move our lives in a different, path. And we're not little kids anymore, we're not here playing. But we're having a really good time. And they love the music. We share the music, and we share little bits and pieces of our lives together. And everybody wants to have a good time, and everybody's hungry and yearning for love songs.
wow.
Everybody is yearning and hungry for songs that make us all feel like we did in the, like we did in the 70s, like
Yeah.
we are one, the way Mays and Frankie Beverly's music made us feel, and how the Earth, Wind, and Fire music makes us feel, and the Commodores, and how Lionel Richie's music made us feel in the 80s. And and then too, you know, we like a lot of, and we still, it ain't over now. You know what I'm saying? So, we like to groove too. We have a show called Late Night Groove. When we first started, we were really kind of doing this jazz thing on Sundays, and people were enjoying it. And then they were like, "Robert, come on now, we liked that, but sometimes we want." I'm like, "Oh, y'all want to have some fun." And
Yeah. They
so
were funk.
yeah, so we'll get together, and we, would do some more contemporary things, but we would do it our way.
Mm.
We would do it our way. And they appreciate that, and it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. It really is.
So now I understand that you've done some stage acting, live
Yeah.
performances.
Did I tell you that?
I did my research.
Oh, okay.
I did my research. Did you do the live performance?
I did a lot of theater. I won award. I don't talk about it, but I've won some awards in acting, and I haven't. I'm gonna be real honest. How can I say this? I turned out to be a pretty good actor, but I really wanted to sing, but I
Mm.
was kind of afraid to sing. But for some reason, I wasn't afraid to act. And so the acting helped me to kind of begin to get over any stage fright,
Right.
but you would play a character. So you would have the confidence in your ability to project that character. And I
Mhm.
would always be acting. I was winning awards and doing really well. We did Dream Girls. We did The Wiz. I did A Few Good Men. I won awards for 6 Degrees of Separation. And so a lot of times I would be on the stage and it would be the end of the show and the people would be clapping. And in my head, I'd be going like, I wonder if I can get out here and sing for real, like do a real, you know,
Mhm.
not singing as Curtis from Dreamgirls and singing the Broadway music from Dreamgirls and being Curtis and, and all of that. But I mean, doing some real, and I would always just wonder, like, I wonder if I could do that. And I'd be like, you better stick to acting, because doing the music, there's no character that you have. That you're not projecting some character. You're not projecting music from a show.
Mm-hmm.
You're not stepping into this character thing. You are bringing you. So you're being transparent and you're bringing your raw emotion to a song and you're putting that out there. And the only way that it's going to work and the only way it's going to be real is if you are real, because if you're not real, they're not going to feel it. So that's a whole nother ball game. And that was the ball game that I was warming back up to, because I had done that as a kid, but not, I mean, I'm a grown man now. It's a whole new, it was, it's a new perspective, it's a new thing. And so, yeah. So the acting, yes, started with the music as a child, continued to listen to music and love music all the time, but in terms of being public, kind of stayed behind the acting thing. And it kept growing, and the people kept giving me awards and wanting me to do more. And I'm like, you know what? Slow down. I don't even think I was bargaining for all of that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing another play. I done did 4 plays in a row, and I didn't want awards that I didn't even know. The man called me on the phone, Robert, you're nominated for something. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, you. And I didn't even go to the first. I didn't even go the first time because the dude, I didn't even know what he was talking about for real. And then he called me. He's like, Robert, there's going to be another award ceremony. He said, you already won the other one last week. He's like, Robert, you're going to win. I'm like, I'm going to win. He says, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I better. So I called my folks here in St. Louis. I was like, hey, y'all, they say I'm going to win an award if y'all want to come down. And they came down and I did win. And then I was like, oh, wow. So I was taking this in because I didn't know it was going to be that big of a deal. This girl I was dating in college, she was the one that got me into it because she was trying to keep up with me. She was going to do the play. She tells me I should do the play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why? Green. Why? It was because she could keep up with me and know where I am. So I end up getting into the play. I got the part, got in it. When Desert Storm, she worked for the news. She did newscasting. And when Desert Storm hit, they hired her on the 5 o'clock. So she had to pull out of the play and take that position. We had just both were graduating college. And she was working the morning news. When she got that evening position, that's what she had been going to college for. We hadn't even finished college, and boom, she's already in the position. And here I am stuck, thinking I'm stuck with a big production. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I didn't know the magnitude of what the show would be. I didn't know that the Wiz was going to come down and some big thing down, and I didn't know. I thought this was going to be kind of more lackluster. It was a big production.
So it was the Wiz, huh?
It was the Wiz. I played the Scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
hmm And I got the bruises to prove it. I got burned on my back and didn't know it. I had a mic. They had one of those mic things with the little wires or some little thing on it.
Got
And
hot.
I didn't know, and it was under my clothes and taped to my body, and I didn't know that it had shorted and was burning my skin. I didn't even know it because you're performing, you're dancing, you're singing, you're doing choreography. I didn't know that I was that I was getting burned.
Yeah.
So why didn't you want to stay with? I know you said acting wasn't obviously your first choice, but why not continue to do that? You just didn't like it.
I knew, if you want to know the truth,
Of course.
um, people really enjoyed what I did. I mean, they really enjoyed what I did.
Hmm.
And it was going so fast and going so well that I was like, well, let's go, let's bump it up. Let's bump it up. Let's get to the music then. If this is good, and this is good, let's get to the music. So I was ready to jump to the music.
Hmm. So
I was,
so
and
you
that's why I
started in the
decided. Hmm?
theater first, and then your singing came.
Well, the singing came as a child.
Okay.
When I was doing the broadcast, I was probably 8. I don't even know if I doubt if I was 10 years old.
Okay.
I think I was somewhere between 8 and 10. And I was doing those broadcasts and leading those, leading that. So the music actually kind of came first.
Okay.
But see, here's the deal. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Acting and singing are synonymous. Learning to interpret a song requires the same skill that an actor has, but you still have to make it real. But in acting, you have to make it real too, or if not, you're not a good actor. So whatever you draw for your script, you must draw the same way for your lyric. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you have to be able to interpret the script as an actor, and you have to be able to interpret the lyric as a singer. So I mean, there are songs that I sing, and then I try to find, how does that connect with my life for real? And then there might be a line or a phrase there that I'm still going like, It hasn't become real for me yet. You with me?
Okay.
And
Mhm.
so you have a part of a song like the first verse may be totally real for me, and then much of the chorus might be cool. It kind of supports that. The minute you might have a bridge, and the bridge may not be as real, or one of the verses may not. So at some point you have to bring in some acting skill. On the Lionel show, um I chose Love Will Find a Way because the bridge says, some say we've lost our way, some say the world has gone astray, but if you know where you're going, there's nothing you can't lose. Problems will come and they will leave you. The world will try to deceive you. Just know the truth will always find a way. That love will always find a way. Now that bridge, I couldn't wait to get to that. When we're singing a song, all I'm thinking is like, I can't wait to get to this bridge because I believe it. Because I believe it and I feel it and I want to feel it in my body. I want to sing it and I want somebody to hear it. So that's what acting is too. You begin to believe the character and you can project and you can do those monologues. You can deliver those lines with conviction because you've made yourself believe it. Same thing in music. I didn't write one of those songs on that tribute show, but I felt that Jesus' love, it overwhelmed me. The spirit was in the space. The spirit was in the space. When I did Lady You Bring Me Up, we did a tribute to the ladies. I didn't open, but I started the medley with Three Times a Lady. Then I went to Kenny Rogers' Lady. And then I went to the Commodores' Lady You Bring Me Up. And that was for the ladies. When I got to Lady You Bring Me, and all three of them, I sung them from my heart because, first of all, Three Times a Lady, I sang that to the ladies out there. When they talk about how black women put Biden in office,
Mhm.
black women have made a space for Robert Nelson, and women in general, but particularly black women. They're the ones who are buying the tickets to come and see me. They're the ones who are selling out those shows. They're the ones that are bringing their boyfriends, their husbands, and their sugar daddies. Okay, and they're the one bringing their girlfriends, and they're the ones get on the phone and say, hey girls, we're going to go check him out, you got to come see him. So I said, I want to salute the ladies. So my heart was in that. And so when I did Lady, my heart was there. But when I did Lady You Bring Me Up, I got excited because I believe that. Lady, you bring me up because you created a platform for me to get up and kind of live my dream and do the things that I have been wanting to do for a very long time. And you're here and you want it. I'm prepared tonight. I've done my homework. We've got the right songs. We got the right musicians. We got the ladies in the house. So boom, it's real. So Yeah, as long as it's real, that's all that matters, and that's not much different from an actor.
Now,
But I feel all of that to be real.
did you ever consider going to do television or movies? Was that ever in the forecast for you?
When I saw when I was about, I don't know how old I was, couldn't have been too old, and because Lady Sings the Blues came out in 1972.
Yeah.
I wanted to be. I said, I'm gonna grow. I want to be Billy D. Williams. When he had that hat on, tomorrow you want my arm to fall off and all that kind of stuff. You know, men, young men, we aspire to be like gentlemen that we
Hmm.
see.
Hmm.
And when I saw Billy D. Williams, I thought, oh yeah, I want to be in a movie. I want to do that.
Mhm.
Then, so that's what inspired the acting. When I played Curtis Taylor in Dreamgirls, I was Billy D. Williams. You know what I mean? That's who I was. She was Dina Jones in Dreamgirls is the Diana Ross character.
Right.
She's in love with Curtis Taylor, the manager,
Mhm.
and they get married. So who am I? I'm Billy D. Williams. So yes, of course I've dreamt of that, and of course I've dreamt of acting. Of course I've dreamt of being in a movie and all that kind of stuff. But I'm learning to I'm learning to continue to dream while I let go.
Mhm.
Continuing to dream at 56 while I let go and say, you know, whatever God has for me, that's all I want. So if it's for me to do this, and if it's for me to do those other things that I want to do, and if for any reason it's not, then there's a reason. You hear me? And I don't want to play around anymore because I've been through too much. And so um I'll continue to look for and create opportunities for myself. And I'll continue to partner with other creatives and bring our resources and bring our minds and our creativity together. And I will believe that just like all the people that come to our shows and support us, just like them, that I can do anything and that it's not too late for me to do anything that I've ever dreamed of. But I'm also working towards being the place that if that's nothing else, then praise be to God,
Mhm.
you know.
So when you perform, um, do do the women, do the ladies? I know they love your voice. They love you. You're a nice looking young man, gentlemen. Do they ever get out of control?
It all depends on what you call out of control.
You know, doing stuff on the stage.
now, now you just can't leave that hanging out there, right?
You know what? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. Ladies, they're as frisky at, at 55 as I am at 50, at the same age. And so um, a lot of these women know what they want. A lot of them are very strong women when I speak with them. Many of them are very strong women. And many of them have their heads on straight, thank God. And um, sometimes they say different things. I'm gonna tell you what one lady said to me at the Lionel Richie show. So we come out, the show is over, and I'm standing over there. So we're taking pictures and saying hello to people and just kind of thanking people for coming and taking a few pictures or whatever. And one lady, she leans in, she says, I want you to know that you were, she said, I want you to know you were singing to my cervix. And I said, what? I was like, oh, I'm like, I didn't even know I could do that. I'm trying to see what that be like. Maybe la la la. Let me try that again. I don't know. I had never heard anything, but that was in fun. I don't
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
was inappropriate. I don't think it was flirtatious. I think
Good
it was
good
just
choice of words.
what? Huh?
That was a good choice of words.
Which one?
The cervix. You
Yeah.
could have said something else.
Cervix. Did I say the wrong word?
No,
No,
I said she could have said
what
something
Oh
Warren
else.
is
yeah,
alluding to,
right,
yeah.
exactly. And so it was funny, and they have fun. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. We're all grown, and I think we all can be playful,
Hmm.
with respect, and I think it's fun to flirt. It's fun to flirt, especially when when each both parties know you guys are just having fun.
Right, right.
And so it's a lot of that. So out of control, no. Flirty fun, yes, because everybody's having a good time. So it's just flirty fun. So we have a lot of fun, fun flirting and just enjoying the night. But at the end of the day, we all respect each other, and I don't think anyone would do or say anything that would be inappropriate or to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I mean, I'm a father.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
So you
And
you
I'm a daddy.
are your kids older, or are they still in school?
My daughter and my son, well, my son is 20, my daughter is 21, and then I have another son that is 35.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're grown.
Yeah, they're grown. I have grandchildren.
Yeah, I got great grands.
That's what
Wow.
makes life
Okay.
interesting, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's parenthood. It's a challenge. It's a joy.
Oh my God. It's a grow, it makes you grow. You think that you think you grown. You think you grown until they challenge you in ways to really make you grow up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They can.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
what's on the horizon for you? I know you
Oh,
kind of you seem like you're taking your career as organic. So if something shows up, you're willing to take that. But I mean, what would you like to accomplish?
well, uh, organic. Okay. So, it is organic because you have to be open to opportunity. You have to be in prayer, and you have to kind of align yourself with spirit, so you're not out here doing stupid stuff and doing stuff just to be seen, or doing stuff just because you have an opportunity to do it. Some things you just don't need to be doing. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Some things in some places you just don't even need to be. So I try to be careful with what we do, because I'm not out here playing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, so what I'm excited about coming up is that it's important for an artist to make their mark at home and then go abroad. I do plan on going abroad. I mean, we do in the summertime, we do go and perform in Chicago. We do go places. We're not just only performing in St. Louis. So, and that's a blessing. Thank God for that. We have things set up that's out of town, and we get excited about that. And we take a lot of pride in that. But St. Louis has a really, really interesting scene. I've made a lot of connections. And so there are some places here that I have some partnerships with, and I want to develop those. And one being National Blues Museum. They just asked me to host a new Barrel House Legends podcast for them. And I said yes to that. We're working in partnership with them, to open up avenues for children, because I work with children, to make sure that children, particularly Black children and
Mhm.
brown children, have access, and disadvantaged children. I hate to use that word disadvantage, but those children that don't have access to those resources that other children do. We want to make sure that we're connecting them. I want to make sure that children are being connected to the arts. So that partnership with them is great. We do private events for them, and we just represent the museum and the legacy of blues music, black music.
Hmm.
Just very excited about that. I find a lot of value in that. Um, this summer, we're doing a Blues on the Block. We're expecting this to be the biggest Blues on the Block that National Blues Museum has had in their history. And we're going to headline that. We're going to have horns and background singers, and we're going to put together something really fun and family friendly because
Gonna
this is
be
free. This is,
outside.
sorry.
Be outside.
This will be outside and it's free to the public. So we're going to
Oh,
block the streets out downtown, right there in Washington, right in front of the museum. And we're
oh,
going to do something really big for them and something really, just something great for the community. You know, I just want to bring some love to this community. I love St. Louis and I'm going to go again. I mean, this is home, but I'm going to get back out there and do the work and go to Chicago and go to New York. And we're looking at Memphis and try, doing our thing. We have to do some
right.
recording as well. And I want to represent St. Louis. I want to represent our brand and our style of music. We have so many different styles, and so I want to represent that in other places. But I want to continue to give back a lot of that love here that these people have given me. And I've got some more to offer them, but they know that I've got to also be moving on and doing things in other places as well.
Mhm.
So what's next is that we have the Judson House, the historic Judson House with Stan Jones. He is a curator at the Judson House on Washington. It's across the street from the Art Museum and across the street from the Sheldon Theater. Once a year, I go and I open up for Denise Times down in the Lake of the Ozarks. We raise money for cancer and that's very I mean that's great work. It's a fundraiser we do every year, and she always calls me back every year. And those people that raise funds, they want me there and I want to be there. That's work that I believe in. And so we're hoping to also break into and continue our stint at Blue Strawberry with 7 consecutive sold out shows, more than any artist in the city. I don't say that to brag, I just say that to say that St. Louis is supporting live music. They are supporting St. Louis based artists, and they're giving us the opportunity to get these shows, polished up so that we can take them to other places and best represent our city. And so that with recordings and original tunes, writing, we're hoping to go back to Maplewood this year
Oh
and
yeah.
be a part of. We want to headline that fest again. I mean, Maplewood opened up their doors to us when we went out there. Um, as all African American men headlining all those people that were there. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people and just jamming one beat, and they were digging it. And so, yeah, we want to bring music to those communities, and we just want everybody to have a good time.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I can't wait to get back out. Yeah, Leon and I are gonna start getting out a little bit more especially when it warms up.
Okay. Well, Leon, you get your cooler ready, and you get that lawn chair, and you put it over your shoulder, and you come on and hang out with us at some of these outdoor events that
Oh,
are going to be coming up
absolutely.
this summer.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just met a guy on Facebook, and I said, "Hey, let's get together and go and have some coffee." He's a doctor, and he said, "Sure." He wanted to go to Blueberry Hill, and I said, "Okay, cool." So
Yeah.
I'm inviting Leon. We're gonna go back to his old hood.
Oh, so you from U City, Leon?
Yeah. Graduated U City.
Woo!
Yep.
And what about you?
I went to Sodan. I was on the west side of the city.
Okay. I graduated from Sumner.
Oh yeah, good
Okay.
old
Mhm.
something.
Okay.
Yeah. I started at Central
Okay.
Red Wings when it was before it was VAP.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
Right.
then I transferred from there and went to Sumner in the 80s. And wow, that was an experience. I'm so glad I got a chance to graduate from the first Black high school west of the Mississippi.
Right, right.
Tina Turner and Dick Gregory
Mm-hmm.
and all of those people have walked
Those
those
hallways.
halls. And so a lot of greatness. In St. Louis, we always talk about high schools and people like to laugh. But the reality is we took a lot of pride in those high schools.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
had some we took a lot of pride in those high schools and had some great experiences and learned a lot about life and about ourselves and our community. So I'm down for it. So you got U City and you got Soul Dan and you got Sumner.
All
That's
right.
hip. That's hip.
And I went to O'Fallon Tech is what they the co-op program.
I remember O'Fallon Tech. It
Yeah.
was a big thing. Everybody was trying to get over there
Right.
because they had
Mhm.
they had all these trades. I mean, like it was so smart.
Yep.
And black kids could go, like black kids could do, we can do this. Hands on.
Yeah. That was fun back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, Robert. In closing, anything else you need to tell us? Anything upcoming you want to point point
Well,
out?
yeah, I just want everybody to just follow us on Instagram. We are on Instagram at the letter I am Robert Nelson STL, and that's on Instagram. We're on Facebook, and you can follow me, the Robert Nelson Experience. You can like our page, or you
Okay.
can go to Robert Nelson on Facebook and you can check me out there. We post all of our upcoming events there and some music, and we also have we also have a little online like magazine. It's called Renaissance Magazine. So if you want to go there too and check that out, we put a lot of fun pop culture, primarily a lot of urban,
Mm.
sophisticated urban jazz and rhythm and jazz and music culture. Um, it's just a fun platform, just connecting, keeping us connected through the arts is what it's all about. Positive things, jazz music, the things that our demographic really, really loves. And that is really just anything that brings us peace,
Okay.
anything that brings us joy, anything that's a little more refined than what we did 5 or 10 years ago, something that's moving us into more of a mature and peaceful space. That's what it's all about. So if you follow us, I would love for you to check out some of those dates. The ones that you should be looking out for is, yes, we are returning to Blue Strawberry in the next few months. We'll be at Joe's Cafe this summer.
Okay.
And we'll be at the historic Judson House for a courtyard for an all-white party in the courtyard. It's gonna be beautiful champagne toast and white roses,
Okay.
and and then we're gonna be outside in the summertime um, at National Blues Museum out on Blues on the Block. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming. Stay connected with us at I am Robert Nelson STL on Instagram, the Robert Nelson Experience on Facebook, Robert Nelson on Facebook.
All right. We got a lot of things to look forward to, and we hope to see you real soon, Robert.
Thank you guys so much. Leon,
It
get
was a
your chair.
it was a pleasure meeting you, brother.
Huh?
Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
The pleasure was mine. I can't wait to see you guys real soon, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get
Absolutely.
there.
Maybe even grab a rib or something.
Come on. You got my number.
I got your number.
Men need to get together more often
You're
and
right.
have a drink, have a beer, and just check in on each other, make sure everybody's okay.
I agree. I
Absolutely.
agree,
Yeah.
Robert.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, brothers. Thank you so
All
much. I
right.
love y'all so much. I
Take care,
appreciate
man.
you.
Love you too.
Take care.
Bye now.
Mhm.
City Jazz Sessions is brought to you by St. Louis City Jazz, a 501c3 company dedicated to music education and appreciation. The CEO is Magic Man 50, and for more ways to connect with City Jazz Sessions, visit cityjazzsessions.wixsite.com/St. Louis. The City Jazz Sessions team includes host, content director, and guest coordinator, jazz great Ronnie Barrage. Follow Ronnie at ronniebarrage.biz. Host, website designer, graphic artist, content director, and guest coordinator, singing sensation Leica. Discover more about Leica at leicamusic.com. Additional production services are provided by Lion's Den Productions. Go to thelionsdenstl.wixsite.com/home. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content.